Good afternoon and welcome to Doc's Nightly Classes. First off, I'm going to be talking about manufacturing. What is manufacturing? I'm going to go into a deeper breakdown. As core, manufacturing in EVE Online is a closed loop economic system where you have blueprints, you have materials, you have job, you have output, market, profit, and then you repeat that cycle to make your money. So, let's work on showing you exactly what that is. Because everybody can hear words, not everybody can bring them into a physical action. So, we're going to go over blueprints, BPOs, and BPCs, right? Since this is privy specifically only to the corporation, we can go ahead and show you. So, we have our blueprints, right? The ones that are light blue, those are your BPCs. They have limited runs. Usually, if you buy BPCs, you'll get them for cheap. They'll already be 10/20. 10/20 from 10% material efficiency, 20% time efficiency. BPOs, on the other hand, they're infinite runs, but you have to research them yourself. I'll go over that later. Now, moving forward, I showed you an example. Yep. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you. Most of you guys already know, but if you go ahead and click the info, it'll show you exactly what you need. For tier 1 ships, which is what I'm going to be providing you guys at the end of this class, I'll give everybody a list of tier 1 frigates or destroyers for you to produce. But this shows you exactly what is needed to build this ship. So you have titanium, you have pyrite, you have oxygen, and noxium. Two of those can be found in high sec, two of those can be found in low sec. Or you can go ahead and take some loot and you can reprocess that from your PvE missions if you like to do PvE. Or if you go out and you kill a player, you can reprocess that loot into something. So to reprocess your loot, let's say you want to do that. I'll go over to my inventory item hanger. Let's say I want to reprocess these warriors, right? I'm going to right click. I'm going to reprocess that. It's going to bring up this little screen with a little is. It's going to show me how much I can get from that. As you can see, I can get Noxium from reprocessing basic tier 1 drones. So, moving forward to my next point of view. Process loot. All right. Just to show you. So, I got a little industry set up here. So, for your industry, you're going to go over to the right-hand tab underneath the little station interaction menu. And you're going to click on the industry tab that looks like a factory. You can click on that. As you see, I can run 7 manufacturing jobs here, 4 science jobs, and 1 reaction job. Now, let's go ahead and show you exactly what I mean by a manufacturing job, which is what I'm going to have you guys start on. So, you see, you click on the blueprints. And if you have a shit ton of blueprints, you don't feel like searching through all of them, you can come over here. So you have the ones owned by me, you have the ones at current stations, you select your container. I like to keep mine in a different container. Just ease of access to keep it away from everything else. Organization is very important. Otherwise, you're going to get all over the place. You're like, where did I put that? Good to have containers. If you want containers, I can make those for you. Um, you have all blueprints that you own, and then you can come over here to this last tool section besides the search bar and click this. So this will bring up every single type of blueprint that you have currently available to you. So for this lesson, I'm going to go ahead and bring up a frigate blueprint, right? So as you see, I have 2 BPCs and a crap ton of BPOs. I'm going to click on one of these BPCs just as an example. So, as you see, I've already have it pre-selected for 10 max runs. It shows me all the titanium I need, all the pyrite I need, all the Nexalon I need, and all the isogen I need. And then, moving forward over here, if you hover over this, you can see exactly how much ISK you're going to get out of that if you try to sell all of them at the estimated price. But that is not a guaranteed payout. We'll go over that later. Now, what I mainly want to focus on is the job duration and the total job cost. So, as you see, job duration at the location that we currently have our operation set up out of, which is in Botane, I choose your market and industry. Now, with my skills and the station skills, is we get 20% blueprint time efficiency. This stacks on top of any BPCs that are 20%. So if you get a BPC that is 10% material efficiency with 20% time efficiency, this will stack on top of that. Skills and implants. I'll go over skills and implants moving forward. Right now, I just want to cover that aspect. So the skills that you'll be needing, start off, I'll cover that in a different subject. It's a lengthy process. So another part of why we stay here in this specific location is due to the installed rigs. As you see, installed rigs, we get 20% off from the station alone. The structural roll bonus gives us another 30% off as well for the job duration modifier. So it decreases our time duration extensively for tier 1 ships only. We can't make tier 2 ships here, just tier 1 ships. Moving forward. So, talked about time efficiency, faster jobs, job slots, more income, minimal. Sorry, I have notes that I wrote down for you guys so I can stay on track. So, for these skills, because I did talk about skills and implants, right? Let's go over here to our little skill tree, our skill catalog. We're here. I'll just create a plan as we follow along. I told you guys I'd do that. So, the first skill that we want, or if you're not sure and you want to navigate this on your own, everything is listed pretty clearly, right? So, we're going to go over here to production because that's what we're focusing on tonight. First skill that we want is industry. We want that at level 1. We can go ahead and break this down bit by bit, right? Next up is mass productions, level 1. That'll automatically bring us up to industry level 3. As you see, it's only 3 hours to get up there. Now, I'll go ahead and explain to what each of these skills do. So, as you see from the description, allows basic operation factories, 4% reduction in manufacturing time per skill level. This allows you to save time on the manufacturing costs, which is what we want. The faster you're able to push these products out, the faster you're able to make more money. And this, mass production, increases your production skills. You're able to produce more the higher the skill level you have of this. Get this to level 5, you'll be able to produce into 7 jobs at once. Any questions so far?
No, not so far.
Nope.
All right. Next up, something they don't really talk about is your science skill, right? Science is needed for your blueprint copying. And the reason why it is needed for your blueprint copying is if you get a BPO and if you research it to 10% material, 10% material efficiency and 20% time efficiency, and that will reflect upon your copies. And it costs you nothing to make a blueprint copy. If you have a BPO, people will not buy it if you do not have it at 1020. This provides speed, right? Even though I have my science at level 5, it still takes me 30 days to get a single BPO up to 1020. You want to train that up to level 3 starting off. Moving forward. Talk about, yep. Next up, we'll go ahead and go back to our productions. We'll add industry level 4 because we're looking to make the most out of our industry as we go along. This can obviously be slept on as you'll go ahead, go to sleep, you'll wake up, all of a sudden, wow, I'm able to make 3 shifts at a time, or 3 jobs at a time. It's 3, yep. You'll have about 4 to 5 job slots after this is trained up, but after that is done, after those are done, you want to go to mass productions. This will further increase the amount of jobs you can do at per level, as it says. So you'll be able to produce more jobs. So if you feel like you want to produce 7 jobs of 100 pioneers each, well, then you have 700 pioneers if you have the ability to do that, right? So for the skill plan, I'm going to go ahead and add that at level 3. Nice level 3, yep, we talked about that, talked about productions, industry. We'll add industry 5. And we're working through this in a manner to be able to get the most out of our skills as they are trained. So if you follow along the skill plan, you'll get the most out of everything that you can until you get down to the nitty gritty, and at that point you're just focusing on your masteries. Next up, something they don't really talk about is the supply chain management. So this is to do your jobs remotely, so you don't have to be at the station to start your jobs. So you can have jobs running at different stations. Each station has its own job number because they are a different manufacturing plant. Now, will you be able to have enough product to push 14 or 28 jobs? That's up to you, and that's up to your distribution chain. But whenever you start a job in a different station, the resources at that station need to be there. We will train this up to level 3 in this skill plan.
What?
What's up? You got a question?
No, I didn't hear what you said like just then.
Oh, I was talking about the supply chain management. So you could train skills without, not train skills, my bad. Do
Okay.
jobs without having to be in that specific station, but you need to make sure the resources are within that station as resources are not shared in between stations.
Oh, okay, okay.
Moving my notes real quick. We got science up to level 3, correct. So, what to move forward, mass production level 4, optimizing our time management. Advanced industry. So, advanced industry. This goes back to your science, right? This and your science work in conjunction to reduce the times that is needed to research your blueprints. The quicker you're able to make these 10, 20 blueprints, the quicker you're able to double your profits on both sides of the lake. So you're able to research it to max, and then after you research it to max, you can create these 10, 20 blueprints, build your blueprints, create more blueprints, sell those two contracts, sell your ships from your created blueprints to the market. So you're making money both ways off of the 1020 PPO. So these skills are important to maintain and have. Reviewing notes for 1 second. So we left off on advanced industry. We'll go ahead and train that up to level 3 for the skill plan. Next up is supply chain management. Same thing as before for your starting remote jobs. This just allows you to create jobs in a wider expanse. So you're able to create it up to 25 jumps, not light years with the dreads and everything like that. No, jumps. You're able to decide what you want, which stations you want to start out of. As long as your central hub is within 25 jumps, you're able to start productions there if you have that up to level 5. But we're going to train it up to level 3 for the time being because there's nothing really outside of 25 jumps, if nothing even really outside of 10 jumps within our current operating zone that you will need to manage. But if you wish to, you can train that up yourself. Any questions so far?
Actually, one question. So I was thinking about this. So let's say if everyone gets 1 million skill points, so production, fleet management, and other things that you have not considered putting skill points in it. Consider putting skill points up to mastery of 3, because after level 3, the 4 and 5 is what gets more expensive. So within that $1 million skill points, you can almost max at least half of your page out just by level 3.
So you're talking about the skill optimization and skill point optimization.
Yeah. So like let's say that outpost construction. So normally outpost construction for level 1 is around 256 skill points. So, and then the second level is around 1600, and then the third level is around 13k. So within those 3 levels, you have skills in those 3 levels, which can provide you more than not having any kind of skills. The skill
Yes,
points into it.
I understand. The way that I'm explaining this is in order that it needs to be trained, as you can't go past, what is it? So you see everything that is grayed out on my screen, correct?
Yeah.
Everything that isn't grayed out on my screen. So the grayed out parts are what need to be trained up to before the non-grayed out parts. So as you see, mass productions 4 needs to be trained up before you can get to supply chain management 3.
Mm-hmm.
Some skills need to be trained up to a specific level if you want to maximize that. I understand what you're saying, try to get the most out of your skill points. I absolutely agree with that. But the game doesn't quite allow you to get everything to level 3 the way that you want it to get to level 3. That will take some time and research, and if somebody wants to sit down with me and decide how to get the most out of your skill points, I would be more than willing to sit down. All you need to know is me a day in advance, not the day of, because it might be a good chance that I've already started sipping on something. But if you let me know, like before I get home or anything like that, then I'll say, okay, sit down, go through it with you. We'll see how you can get the most out of your skill points, get the most skills of what you've got. Does that answer your question, or did I circumvent it? Or okay, wanted to make sure that I fully answered your question before moving on. So we left off on Advanced Industry 3, correct?
Yeah.
All right. We have the Supply Chain Management 3, so there's no need to review that. So next up is deciding your skills. I'm going to minimize this for a second. We're not done with this. We still have a few more skills to talk about. But I wanted to talk about industry and skills. Right. So let's say you do have a BPO, right? And let's say you got 10 frigates. I mean that's not going to get you a whole lot. It's only net you 5 million. Even then, that's not going to net you 5 million with the job costs and the amount of time you get into mining on the ore. So to get that up there, you want to try to bring that up to as much as you can. Usually, I like to do about 2 to 3 days at a time, and I'll stack my jobs like that. So I move this all the way up to 3 days, and I'll wait a day. I'll have another job posted for 3 days, and I'll wait a day. I'll have another job posted for 3 days. So every day I come in, I have a contract or a production ready for me. And look at that. Look at the difference between 5 mil. You're making 71 mil off of something that these two you can get just for mining off of ISEC. Maybe a little bit harder to mine these two, maybe not. I mean, Azazel runs the wormhole fleets, so you're going to be able to get a lot of this if you run with him. And even then, it isn't that hard to get 70k on Isogen or 33 mil on Mexilon. So, what needs or what ores you need to mine to get these materials. Because I know a lot of you come in here, you ask me, hey Doc, what ores do you need for this material? What ores does port need? Well, you take a look. Right click it, show info. You can mine in high sec oxers. Right, that's the only thing that you can mine in high sec that will give you Mexilon. Or if you go to low sec, you can get Kernite, Jaspit, Genesis, Dark Poker, and Crokite. Some of these are found in high sec anomalies, and I'll go over a high sec and mining class as well. But that is not tonight. So you're able to see the information, you're able to see exactly what's needed. So you see, Kernite shares a trait with both Mexilon and Isogen. So if you mine Kernite, which is often found in isotope anomalies, you're able to get everything that you needed to make that 137 Atrons. Now, just because you made that does not mean immediate profit, right? Unless you sell it to a market order, and even then, they often try to rip you off with up to 50, 60% off. It's not fair to you. I'll talk about profit margins in a little bit. Moving forward, back to the skill plan, right? Because I told you I wasn't going to forget about that. Moving any notes. Ask your questions if you get any questions about it. Uh, sorry. So with that in mind, mass production fee, we've already got that covered. Supply chain management 4, we need that, right? Supply chain management. So after this is all trained up, we'll have up to 10 job slots, 10 different jobs that we can have at one time, 10 different shifts. You don't have to do it like I do. You can do it the way that you want to do, right? The way that I do it is entirely up for the corporation, so I can continue creating that influx of money, keeps going, to keep the projects up, to keep the money flow coming in. So we'll go ahead and we'll max out what is absolutely needed for that, which is the advanced mass production fee. It's already in there. Advanced industry 5. Is now in there. Supply chain management 5, which is now in there. Now you may look at my screen and say, hey Doc, what the fuck? You're telling me to train all these skills, yet you don't have these skills trained yourself. Well, I did some research because I'm dedicated and I love you guys. Alright, I'm about to train the skill plan myself. I'm going to train a skill plan of what you did, right? I wouldn't train it myself. I wouldn't give it to you. I love you. Okay. So those guys listening that are listening to this recording, I love you guys. Anyways, any questions about that?
We love you too, Doc.
We love you too.
Yeah, we love you too.
Okay. Now,
Yeah, mine's almost at 5.
the whole reason for this skill plan is I'm nowhere near the point where Castor was. He was able to build full-on capitals. I'm giving you guys the recipe to be able to start into productions. This is a basic intro on productions. I will cover the advanced intro whenever you guys are ready for it. But this is to get you guys competing with these veteran industry folk that have already tried to control the market with their productions and everything like that, to try to push new players off and discourage them and make them feel not very wanted. This will provide you a great introduction. Hell, even up until these last couple of skills I've added, will give you a level of production skills that you're able to produce battle cruisers in the 10s, 20s, 30s as much as you want to. It has been helping me maintain this corporation in the billions of years. Even though I'm not trained up, I am also giving you guys a heads up and leading you guys further than I am currently. So you can be more productive, make more ISK in the long run. Yep. Reviewing notes. Any questions while I review the notes? Anything you guys are confused about?
No, as you're going through it, I'm checking my skills and see what I need to work on and what I already have.
That's kind of what I was doing. Are you gonna publish this skill plan in the skill plans after?
Yes, the skill plan will be published with the corpse skill plans out. I'm actively creating it as we speak, and it will be named Class 1 Productions.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Question for you, Doc. Do you know caster skill points?
Over 100 million.
Over 100 million? Jesus.
Yeah, I've only got like 58 million myself.
Does he have everything maxed out in production?
Yep, he has everything. The man has like 12 years on his account.
Fair enough.
Well, moving forward, talked about competitive with veteran builders, high value support skills. All right. Now we're going to move on to research and blueprint efficiency into a deeper subject, right? So I've given you the basics right here. From top to about those level 5s. Basics to absolutely get started, getting that ISK into your account, and making sure you're able to flex up your account if you don't want to pay out of pocket money for it. As long as you get in there, you do your mining, you get all the materials, you get your ships up, you get them on the market, you let them sell, you have a constant influx of ISK coming on in. Next up, I'm going to talk about in depth with the whole BPC making. I know you've heard me talk about it here and there about the 1020s and everything like that. About to make that a lot more easier for you. So, hold on. Every time my phone cuts off, I have to scroll back down to the section of notes I was in. Yep, there we go. Competitive, yep. Research and blueprint efficiency. So, we want metallurgy. Where's metallurgy? Oh no, I don't know where this skill is that somebody told me. Oh, this nifty handy little search bar right here will tell us everything that we need to know.
We ain't too far away. Where are you? Sorry.
This will also help with your BPCs. Imagine if you get this up to level 5, then it doesn't take as long to get your BPCs up to 1020. Right now, we're just going to do that to level 1. Next up, laboratory operations. Laboratory operations. Same skill. Research jobs. This allows you to do multiple BPOs. So you don't have to focus on one and be like, oh, I gotta wait 30 days for this one blueprint. Now you can have up to about 14. if you train both of these skills, but we're only going to train that up to. Let's go all the way down to my list. I was on. Yep. Oh, yep. There it is. I'm going to train this up to level 1 for right now. Next up. So, now we've got everything to go ahead and start producing. But we don't have anything to go to the market, right? We don't have any skills for market. Yes, using the market requires skills. As stupid as that may sound, it has more to do with tax reduction, fee reduction, and range of market that you are able to see than actually selling to the market itself. Explain the skills moving forward. So, next up, you want to take a look at accounting. Accounting. If I remember correctly, that reduces sales tax. So you're able to reduce the sales tax by an astronomical percentage, especially if you're selling large. 11% is a lot. If you're selling $1 billion and you save 11% on taxes, that's $100 million in your pocket, right? A little over. Don't quote me on my math. Train that up to level 1 for right now. Train that up later. This is just to get everything in the book. I'll go ahead and drag these skills up so they are trained up as fast as possible after I go over these skills with you. Next up is broker relations, which will reduce market fees. Broker relations. Now reduce market fees about 3%. What, 3%? I know they reduce market fees off the top of my head. Let's just write them down. 8%. Okay, so yeah, max percent of broker fees. So I know a lot of you, not a lot of you, a couple of you come to me and said, "Oh, Doc, I really messed up. I ended up adding an extra zero to my order, and they charged me an extra 80 million for my order. Oh no, that sucked. About 80 million. Well, this will help dampen that effect in case you make a mistake. Instead of the 80 million, it'll be 3% less than 80 million. Well, that's not a whole lot. Every percentage counts because you need to make money off of your profit margin for every productions if you're going to be selling ships. Go ahead and train that at level 1 right now. Absolutely. Okay. Minutes. Yep. About halfway done with this lesson. Bear with me here. Yeah, stations. So now you're wondering, now I've started these skills, Doc. What ships should I make to start making money? What should I do? You gave me all these skills, but all I'm doing is training. Well, let's take a look at the PvP aspect of it. That's why you're going to come over here to your ship tree. Your ship tree is going to be your best friend. It's my best friend. I love it. Right? It tells me every single ship that is within the game. A lot of you use it to find the names of ships, to find what they can do, and all of that. But it needs to be noted, most of your PvP ships are going to be some things like the Punisher. They're going to be some things like don't know what the Caldari is, but I know the Galiente Federation is the Atron, right? Those are the ones that are going to be pushed the most. Those are the ones that are going to be lost the most. You need to think strategically with your builds, right? So it's going to be the Rifter 4 Mimiton. Those are the BPCs or BPOs you need to be obtaining first to be able to get your foot in the door. Those are what is going to sell the most because that's what people lose the most. They're just starting into PvP. They're just trying to get their foot in the door. Usually, 90% of the doctrines contain one of those. So there will always be a demand for it. Questions about that? No? Okay. No. Okay. Not to mention, if you produce a lot of these, they are really easy to move. Nobody is going to scan your hull and think, yeah, I want a lot of frigates. I want to loot a lot of frigates. No, nobody's going to think that. It's a very low risk, low-ish reward. As I've said before, buy a blueprint copy. Use that to save up for the blueprint original. Use your blueprint copies to continue to make your ships while you train up your blueprint original to the 1020s. You no longer have to rely on the blueprint copies. I know I said that a couple times before, but if I say something multiple times, that reiterates its importance. Skills. Talk about skills. Make sure your material efficiency is trained up to the level that I'm about to give you for this skill plan. Next up, check material cost versus sell price. Absolutely do not guess, oh, it's going to cost me about 10 mil. I think I can sell it for 12 million. No, always check the market, right? So, to do that, when you go to show info, say I want to check the industry, okay. Usually this is where I break out the calculator, or since I'm already here, I can just do this, right? Pretty sure I have one here. Yep, I do. Wonderful. So, job cost. That's what you want to look at. If you mine these, easy payout, but the job cost. That's what it's going to cost you to start the job. Right? So 388-ish for the total job cost for 10 runs. That says it's going to give you 2.8 million estimated price for rifters. But is that true? Let's check the market details. By right-clicking on that little picture, view market details, and we'll see exactly how much each rifter sells for. So, it sells for, at this current station, 300,000-ish per one. That's the lowest order. Usually, you're not going to look at the location that you're at. You're going to go to a trade hub if you want some quick sales. If you just want your stuff to sell in great bulk. As you see, there's no orders over here for more than 20 at a time. If I go over to Dodixie, I'll see an order of like 400 something rifters for probably 285,000 hits. So yes, with that in mind, keeping in mind that it's going to cost you 1.2 million in titanium, million in pyrite, 1.6 million 1.5 million in Exelon, and almost 900,000 in Isogen. Let's add those numbers up together because, like I said, this quickly turns into a fucking math simulator. My head hurts. Anyways, 2 plus 1 plus 5 plus 15 million to create 10 chips plus that 388,000. 0.38. 15 million total in cost. That doesn't make any sense. The math is wrong. Right. Disobeying my fucking rule that I just told you guys. Never guesstimate. $62. Yep. So, yes, it would be cheaper to go ahead and mine all these yourself because then you're saving about 15 million to build these 10. But you don't always get that million from just simply the more directly. As you see, give you market details, you see all these up for like 60, 63, 62, 65. Then you go ahead and look at the buy orders and they're all 56, 55, 54, 53. Some being in stations, some being 4 jumps away, some being in system. But this is tier 1 ships, tier 1 frigates. They're easy to make, quite easy to replace. Nobody really cares about them. They're just here to get your foot in the door, start getting sufficient cash flow in your pocket. Whenever you get up to some more complex ships, that's whenever we'll start talking about the additives, because the higher you go, the more the ships require than just war. Note here, starting home station, as I've showed you before, starting at home station, we automatically get a 50% bonus off rock just being here in this station. Now, 1 to 2 type ships only. I gave you a type of ship, which is a frigate. Shell where demand exists, which is a trade hubs. I wouldn't recommend going to a war zone unless you can afford to lose exactly what you're coming to sell. It will be gate camps, so we'll try to hunt you down. If you think you can be sneaky enough to get in there and an NPC station in that system, be my guest. Doug, I'm not going to talk about that. Well, current research or PPO. Alright, material efficiency again. We've talked about it a couple times already. If you do not research your blueprints, or do not get BPCs that are maxed out, then you are wasting materials. As you see, this is an unresearched blueprint. Show you info of it. It is 0, 0. Now, 10 runs of this, as you see, has 31 million, 58, 24, and 48. But if I go over here to this BPC that I've got, I click it, I put it up for 10 runs. It drastically decreases the price of what is required. So you're able to save materials moving forward. The more materials that you save, the more ships you can produce. The more ships that you can produce, the more you can put in the market. And the more you put in the market, the more money in your pocket. That covers that talking point. Alright, 10 units. You can start off with building just a couple of units. You don't have to do the whole 3-day method like I'd like to do. I do that because these guys, everybody in the corporation, donates their stuff to the projects, and I'm able to do that. Not everybody is able to do that. That's how I keep the is coming in from the corporation. Because I take that, I either sell to the trade hub, or I ask for an escort all the way to the major trade hub, which is GM. If you manage to try to get yourself into a PvP system that is nearby, or system, and you're able to mark your prices up, because people are going to want to buy it immediately at that station. For some people that do a lot of PvP, they're -10 on security status, -8, -9, whatever negatives they are on. If they can have comfortability of mind buying from an NPC station from the ships that they want, then they will most certainly buy those ships from you at a raised price from any trade if they are readily available, so they do not have to jump through hoops and bounds to get what they want. Doing that will net you some miss, but you have to find out where it will sell. So it's going to be a lot of probing, a lot of throwing things up, and seeing what sells, seeing what doesn't sell. There's a lot more to this productions than just building the ship. It's the market aspect of it all. So you can build ships all day, but you're not going to make any money off of it if you can't find a way to sell. I think that covers all of my points and talking points. Is there any questions, anything that you guys would like me to roll back on, or anything like that?
I don't have any questions. You were pretty thorough with most of it.
I had to step away a couple times, so you might have covered this stock, but how do you get your first... So you said buy a BPC first and make those to earn the ISK for a BPO. How do you get... Do you just find a 00 BPO on the market?
Alright, so I'm going to close out these windows, all except for the skill plan I'm about to publish. Right? I'm going to show you step by step on how to get a BPC. So, like I said before, your ship tree is going to be your best friend. Let's say I want a BPC on this first here. Right click it, show info, and then I'm going to head down to the industry tab. Then from the industry tab, I see view and market, show and contracts. Only BPCs will be shared in contracts. Only BPOs will be available in market. So, for BPCs, you want to take a look at your contracts. And from there, you're able to look at your contract, see where everything is. And hey, look, I see that there is a contract available in the Dixon for 29 million, or almost 30 million. Let's take a look and see what it has. Double click it to view it, and oh wow, it has all the frigate blueprint BPCs that I could ever want. And they're all 30 runs apiece. So, if I'm wondering, oh wow, is it worth it to buy these BPCs? Will I make that 29 million back? Will I make more than that 29 million? What is my profit margin there? If you're just wondering, you can always go to here. Nope, I'm asking. Go here, click on info, review market info, market details on the actual ships. Best if you're at a trade hub. And then just say I want to buy this. It's a bit of a tedious task, but hey, look at that. If I want to buy 30 of those, the first ship on the BPCs, that is already 26 million. If I match his price, I will make the same. Off of that 29 million. That's what is it, like 90% of that back, and that's for almost every single one of these that he offers. Now, if you're just wanting a singular blueprint, you don't gotta go for that one. You can look for things like this. That sells for 200 is. You can get that one. And always make sure you show info on that BPC. As you see, it's not a 30 run, it's a 10 run. So you won't get as much back, but it does get your foot in the door, and one of those ships, one or two of those ships, will get you that is back. So if you, like I said, yield market details, looks like one of those ships is just about going to make you break even for that BPC that you thought. Any questions?
No, I ain't got none.
All right. That concludes today's class. More intro to productions. I'll post that skill plan on the corporation skills. Vic, if you wouldn't mind sending me that recording first so I can review it, edit it any way that I need to, and then post it up to the corporation account.
Will do.
I'll take a look at that right away.
Thank you very much. This concludes today's class.